Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community.
Also brought to you by
988. There is hope with a 988 Lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7.
Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Oak Knoll, an active life care community powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here is your host, Rob Brooks.
Well, what an afternoon inside Carver Hawkeye Arena yesterday. Couldn't script it any better. And now that's 3 in a row for the Hawks after a 76-67 victory over number 4 Southern Cal. Of course, Iowa led by as many as 19 points in the second quarter after getting off to that great start in the first 10 minutes. And then also had the lead for 28 minutes and 47 seconds. And a spectacular crowd of 15,000 certainly played their part as well. And certainly congratulations to Lucy Olsen being named Co-Big Ten Player of the Week as we welcome you to Hawk Talk. Jan, if you pulled out a piece of notebook paper and just kind of wrote down what you would have liked to have happen yesterday, is this what you would have come up with?
Everything but the second quarter.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, no, seriously, it was really a heck of a day. The players, I mean, they really stuck to that game plan. They did it really, really, really well, and it was just I was just so happy for them to have that moment. Happy for all of you, our fans. Thank you for everybody at the show and everybody listening. You know, that's what makes Iowa so special. The core group, I think you've always, seen that we could have moments like that. But it's just nice when it happens and they could, just see the fruits of all of their labors. And it was just a perfect time for it to happen. There were a lot of moving parts to this weekend, and to come through with a win I just feel so blessed with that.
No doubt about it. And I know a lot of people want to jump in the conversation, and we certainly invite you to do so. Our Twitter is at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk. Facebook, facebook.com/HSP Learfield. The U.S. Cellular text line is 319-853-8344. And you can also email your question, hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We've already got some rolling in, and we'll get to them a little bit later on in the show. But we've got to talk about this spectacular day and certainly the 40 minutes. And as we talked in the pregame show, you'd mentioned it before. Obviously, a big recruiting weekend, honoring Caitlin afterward. But that 40 minutes is about this team and going after the number 4 team in the country, and to keep their focus from tip all the way to the finish. And a lot of highs and lows throughout the game, but a lot of highs.
Yeah. You know, we started as, I think it was Friday. I really started to bring it up, the whole, the build up to the jersey celebration. But Friday, we just really talked about it before we were visiting in earnest about USC. We talked to USC a little bit a couple days prior to that. But you usually have a 2-day scout where you give them the scouting report. But we talked with them about, I just said, hey, we know what's going to happen on Friday, and that's going to be after the game. And really, just tried to get the freshmen to understand what they were going to experience. Thankfully, we'd had, the crowd has been a sellout, but when Caitlin's involved, it's usually that Beatlemania, right? And so I just, exactly, I said, so this is going to be cool for you because you're going to get a sense of, when she enters, how it is with our Hawkeye fans. And then I really looked at Hannah and Sid and the upperclassmen. I said, and, you guys know, what it was like, especially that last part of the season after she declared for the draft. Then it became a whole new level. Then everybody knew it was the last time. It was the last time to see her here. It was the last time to see her there. And so we visited about it, but then I told them exactly what you said. We get 40 minutes when it's us and USC, and then afterwards we will celebrate Caitlin. And I was joking with our staff after, that was on Friday. And so it was Friday, we had prep, and then Saturday, the game Sunday, right? So I feel pretty good. I got the team just where we need it. It's us, it's USC, it's us. And I'm walking down the tunnel. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that marketing put up 15,000 towels that say 22 all over Carver. So I walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, it felt like a lot at that moment. Not in a negative way, but it was, who was I kidding? We were really going to hide from 22-22 and her special day. But credit to the team. We saw the towels. We mentioned it was pretty cool, and we got right to work on Friday. And it was, they really had 2 really great days of prep.
And it showed up on Sunday for sure. And we've talked about starts where you had a little bit of slow starts at a certain point of the season, and then now they've gotten better. But this one was spectacular.
Yeah.
18-4.
Yeah, I think that was really great. Sean Sullivan and Raina Harmon, they kind of, basketball's a little bit different. You don't just have football has offensive people and defensive people, but they kind of oversee our defense, and Randy and Abby, they kind of look at the offensive side of things. Randy Peterson-Henderson, who's here, everybody here.
Yes.
Our great coach. He came with her awesome daughter, future Hawkeye, I'm going to call it right now, Harper. Remember, we got Duaz Henderson's the dad and Randy Peterson's the mom, so our chances of this kid playing for us are pretty high, right?
Committed already,
that's
right?
Well, yeah. I'm not pushing the commitment. I gotta let her just kind of feel it for a while. But we know Harper, don't we? We know.
Big smile.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Randy and Abby kind of, work on the offensive side. But definitely, Sean was very pumped about 4 points in that first quarter. And I think that was a credit to our fans. And I think the way we came out, we talked a lot about playing free and fearless. And I think they did that especially in that first half. And, we haven't really got consistently, I'd like to say that start, right, is going to be how we are from here on out. We've, looking back at the year, sometimes we've started slow, sometimes we've started fast, and there's been a problem in the third, or the problem was in the second, fourth, or whatever. But it was really nice, I think, and important that we came out and socked them in the mouth, because we had to put them on their heels, and they kind of were thinking about things. And it wasn't until their pressure got to us that I think they started to, gain a little confidence.
Yeah, 1 for 14 in the first quarter for Southern Cal, which leads to the defense. And I thought Taylor McCabe knocking down a couple of big three-pointers, just to see the ball go in from distance to get off to a good start was huge.
Yeah, that was huge. And then I also thought that the three-pointer, the only shot I think Sid hit, that was, what was it, went around that rim about 25 times, and when it went down, I think that was kind of one of those things that kind of, when you saw that kind of go your way, you start to think, all right, we got something going here today.
And then you mentioned the second quarter, just storylines in every single quarter for sure. And Southern Cal cranked up that defense, got back into the game, but that's what top 5 teams do. But then once again, that third quarter, you come out throwing punches, and they did too. And it was just a back and forth 10-minute frame where you really feel like, okay, this is going to be a four-quarter basketball game.
Our staff thought it was pretty important how we were going to start the third. I've been frustrated a lot this year at different times, obviously, but man, when we didn't handle the pressure and we had so well, that was about as frustrated going into halftime as I've ever been, because we had handled it so well against our men's practice squad, but you can never mimic what it's going to feel like, right? And our staff, they kind of calmed me down as much as they could at halftime. But what I was so happy about was that the players did what they needed to do in the adjustments. And after we settled in that second, and then, I think that was important how we started, because if we would have stayed on our heels, then I think USC would have kind of got that moxie of the top 4 team. So when we made it, kind of a match, back and forth, then I knew we were in business going into the fourth. And I just couldn't be happier with how our team really responded. And I'm hopeful that they're really, their belief system really got a jolt, because it should have, because they handled a lot, and they did it with a lot of, I think, moxie in that third quarter, which led us into the fourth and the win.
Talked about in the open, Lucy Olsen, co-Big Ten Player of the Week, of course, had a nice game against Northwestern with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. But 28, her career high as a Hawkeye yesterday, but 23 coming in the second half, 10 out of 18 from the floor, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, and 15 points in the fourth quarter. And then how many tipped balls and steals did she help? And then others contributed as well.
I think it was so great for us, I think, to really see that fourth quarter. That's a lot of the similar things she was doing in the Big East. And I think we've talked on the show before, just night in and night out, the physicality of the Big Ten. No disrespect for the Big East, but the way we play, she had to learn a lot of different system, and then she's leading it. And there's just a lot when you transfer, it's a lot. And then when you're the point guard coming into what she was coming into, there was just a lot of pressure all the way around. And so we would see glimpses in practice. And Lucy is such a great kid, like all of our women on our team. But Lucy has a heart as, big as Texas. And she wants to please. She wants to do well. And sometimes that can kind of work, not in her favor. And so the first half was a little tough sledding. And before she went out, I just, our thing for the game was kind of free and fearless, and just trying to do anything to loosen her up. And I was just really happy that, she got one to go. And then when she kind of got in that zone, boy, then it was really a little bit easier and smoother for her than it had been. And when that happens for her, it's amazing what happens for the rest of our team.
Yeah, and Addy O'Grady. What a performance. 19 minutes, 35 seconds, 13 points, 4 boards, 6 of 8 from the floor. Hannah gets into foul trouble, has 4, has to come on the sit down, and then Addy steps right in there, and just huge moments in that fourth quarter. You had the rebound, the putback, 16-foot jumper, just did it all.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't be more proud of Addy and happy for her. And I mentioned this in the press conference. What I think the most beautiful part of that game was Addy and Hannah. Because Hannah Hannah, the way she started the game, how many rebounds did she have in that first quarter? And she was just going at him and setting the tone, and took a hard charge, did all the things, and then got in foul trouble. Well, then Addy came in, and she has arguably one of the hardest roles on the team now, in the sense she had the starting role, then we went with the faster pace. We've asked her to handle her disappointment, be ready to come off the bench. We've asked Hannah to go from the 4 to the 5. Hannah is now getting beat up by the 5s. They're both doing things that they would prefer not to do, but they're doing it for the good of the team. And so, as a coaching staff, when you get into the moment, then the rubber hits the road of, what we told them would likely happen. You don't know when your moment's going to come, Addy, but when it does, be ready. And, I think that was one of those times when she got her shot. She didn't think about anything but doing what she needed to do, and we went with her. And so the fact, I think, that we kept going with her, and the fact that Hannah was the loudest on the bench when we could have put her in, is the fact that everything kept, ascending. Hannah was waving that towel and high-fiving. As a coach, there's no more beautiful thing, because that's what basketball is that team. And when you can get them playing with that selfless mindset, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And I also, not just because Randy's here, but she's done a really great job. That's hard as a position coach when, we're all in agreement to switch kind of the lineup, but you're the one watching film with them, and you kind of get more of the, one-on-one and all the emotion. But Randy has, done a great job with Addy's mindset, and really all the, obviously the development with all of our post players. But I think that just shows you that there's a lot of confidence, there's a lot of trust in everything that's going on. And I just thought that was a really cool storyline. And I think it's so great for high school kids that are in that situation. Small college kids, any player, if you read about that and be like, man, the Hawks handle it like that. And I hope we can continue doing that, because on any given night, you don't know which one of those posts is going to be needed to do what they do. And last night, we needed that in the first half, and we needed that in the last quarter. And what an awesome thing.
And it sure was a terrific finish by Addy O'Grady on 6 of 8 from the floor. And the Hawks in the fourth quarter, 9 of 13, and then 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 21 of 28 overall. But the second half, much better than the first free throws.
7 for 7.
And they went right in. No iron, all net. That's what you love to see.
We were right at 75%, but we made the goal. That's our minimum. But usually, if you're shooting that's pretty good. But that was
knocked
major.
them down when they really counted.
That's the main thing.
They get tougher,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
No
they do
doubt
get
about
tougher.
Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We've got a long way to go to talk Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball, as this show is presented by Oakdale, as their mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving Iowa City for 58 years. Oakdale is conveniently located near University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick, Carver Hawkeye, and downtown Iowa City. A proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oakdale.com to learn more. Don't forget, throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org to learn how corn grows Iowa. You can reach us at Iowa_Learfield or hashtag Hawk Talk, Facebook.com/HSP Learfield, U.S. Cellular text line 319-853-8344. Email hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. This is Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen from Learfield.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new 9s in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
Woohoo! Quinn Schulte, I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosmer to throw, has time.
Yes,
it's deflected, intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully, down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. We're at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar, and appreciate everybody coming out to watch the show. And each week, the hotel will be offering an extended happy hour, including dollar wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wine. So come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a great evening of basketball. Next week we'll be here on Tuesday, February 11th from 6 until 7, because the Hawks play on Monday night at Nebraska. And before that, of course, a trip to Minnesota. So back-to-back road games coming up this week off the heels of that big victory against USC. And had a comment here in-house, Jan, too. We're going to get to Caitlin's celebration, talk a little bit about that. But what a cool thing for Southern Cal to stay and watch that after a tough loss on their part.
Yeah, it's really, I thought that was really cool. And I think, teams that I've watched some of the pro teams. I've seen some of them with great players. I think, a lot of teams that respect and know they, even as disappointed as they are, you would want to stay. Maybe if it's kid, that you didn't know as well, right? But in this day and age, Caitlin is her, right? And I think that would have I think they would have been sad leaving, right? Because they even, back then they weren't really competing against us. They were just watching her star, ascend. So I thought that was great, obviously, with their great player, with Juju Watkins. And I think that's just a sign of the respect within the women's basketball community of, what people are trying to build at each of their respective universities. So I thought it was cool, but I wasn't the least bit surprised, because I think for the most part, women's basketball coaches get it. We've been fighting a long time for people to pay attention. And I think when people, have had success and they're doing it, to celebrate a GOAT in a special way, I think that was really cool.
And even Coach Gottlieb talking about the atmosphere, and happy to be a part of this, because you're right, you remember it on both sides for a long, long time. And of course, with our very knowledgeable fan base, they cheer Juju and cheer great players because they know the game so well and appreciate the players that come into Carver Hawkeye Arena, even if you've got a different colored jersey on.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I mean, I've always been so proud of our fan base, and I'm not ever one that really is big on booing. I mean, anytime, whether you're in a football stadium or whatever. But I thought that was really, really classy. And I think our fan base has always been really educated. I think they've, recognized greatness. But I thought that was, when I look back, I was really proud at that moment. I thought, wow, that was really, really neat, is the fact that they did that in a classy way. It wasn't, decibels crazy high, but it was more of that. We see you, we respect you, but we do want to beat you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Caitlin, obviously, with all of the places she's been, all the accolades, all the awards, crowds, got a little emotional when that 22 went to the rafters, and the videos were shown to talk about her impact with kids and obviously adults from coast to coast, but also overseas, not only this country, but other countries as well, that now follow women's basketball and followed her career.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was, let's just, first off, kudos to our administrative team, our marketing, social media people, photography, videography. Beth gets on down. I thought that was as classy of a celebration as I think you could ever wish for. And I know Caitlin and her family really appreciated it. I always really like when I see Caitlin take a moment and get choked up. It doesn't happen often, but the scrutiny that she lives under, the orbit of which she, lives in, it is so rare. And she is constantly, operating at a level that few of us can really understand. And, I saw a clip, she does have a gift that she really doesn't care. I think that is good. Like if she gets booed or someone thinks she's this side or the other, that doesn't bother her, right? But I think she also, it's over time, starting when she was really little. I mean, she was Harper's age when she was really a GOAT, right? People aren't really watching, but all the things I've studied in my recruiting of her, right? I tried to always research, and then getting to know her over the years, it's been lonely. It's lonely when you're the greatest, right? Because even at, age 6, 5, 6, like she wanted to, play someone and, beat him by 60. And then when the other people wanted to play with Barbies and go get ice cream, she was not understanding, right? And so there's an evolution that happens, right? And then when she gets to Iowa and starts to do these things that have never been happening before, it opens herself up to more scrutiny. So there is that point where, her circle's really tight. And, we've had some heart-to-hearts over the years when the pressure got great when she was here. But I think what I've liked most of all, when I've seen her, really ascend and enjoy the moments at Iowa, and then watch how she had to weather everything in her rookie season. But when I see her really, I think for just, a moment, let herself really absorb it, I love it. Because I think those are the times she drops her shoulders just slightly. And really, I think, lets it all sink in, the impact that she's making. And really, I don't think, honestly, I don't think has fathomed yet, even minutely what she's done. Because she's so busy chasing greatness. She's just, barely does she slow down. But I think what happened to the jersey is, I think when you see it happen, I think it forces you to realize that that's the milestone that has been reached, and it's done, it's closed. There's nothing more that you can do at the University of Iowa, of which she loves so much. And so when you see that happen, it's kind of like, door closed, a lot accomplished, and I think the moment kind of hit her a little bit. But then, then she delivers a speech that she didn't prepare at all that mentions everybody from Juju to she's playing at Carver again in May 5th and like high flying whoever.
Pretty good at it.
Oh gosh, she's amazing at it.
Well, let's get into some questions here on the U.S. Cellular text line. Kevin, we talked about this for yesterday's game, but Kylie's defense on Juju was huge. Kevin talks about kept her off her game, kept her off balance a little bit, had to work for many of her shots. Really an unsung defensive player. We've talked about Kylie, her athletic ability and her prowess on the defensive end has been huge on numerous occasions, and she usually guards a pretty tough opponent on the other side.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what Kylie has always given us. When earlier in the year when you're trying to find a lineup, Kylie is one of our most athletic players, and she is extremely good defensively. And she can be good offensively, but she expends a lot of energy on the defensive side. And so we've been trying to find a combination where we can have her be the defensive specialist, but be good enough everywhere else offensively that we can be competitive. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't have moments or there are strengths offensively, but when you're putting that much effort and exerting on every time the opponent's best player, sometimes you're going to be a little short on a shot, you're going to be a little short on a layup. So that's why Kylie has been a mainstay. And she's always been a great defender, when she was in high school, and she has been here. So she's really good on the ball. And with Juju, though, we had to kind of always give her a crowd. So you kind of have to take your chances on the great ones. They're usually going to get their points, but your goal is to make them do so inefficiently, or as inefficiently as possible. She still had 27, but she got
7 of 21, and then 1 for 7 from 3.
And so that was, a lot of Kylie, right? Getting a hand on her, and then our other people never letting a lane really look open. They did kick it a couple times, and some of their kids were able to hit a 3, but you kind of have to take your chances that they're not going to do that consistently enough. But Kylie really gives us she gives us a great opportunity when we're facing a really great scorer, because she can really be on them and stick to them pretty close.
What did you think of the zone defense?
And I was really thrilled with it. I really thought that was going to be the way to play him. And, what was interesting is I thought we'd start the game in a few player-to-player possessions, and then we'd go to zone really quickly. But then we started so hot offensively, and then it was like, oh, man, I'm not going to – we had a discussion at the quarter break, like, should we go zone? And I was like, not when we're only giving up 4, right? Let's just kind of stick with it. And then what ended up – even though it got kind of close, and I think in my mind maybe I should have tried to change the defense midway through that second. But what was nice is they couldn't make an adjustment, because they were all talking at halftime, probably, I've got to do this, we got to do that, we can, expose them here, this, that, and the other against player. But then when we went, boom, all zone, I think that's what kind of allowed us to really, hold, punch for punch. So I was really pleased, because we hadn't played very much zone this whole year. They did run a couple special plays that we didn't handle exactly as we drew it up on Saturday, but we kind of ad-libbed, and we got it done.
No doubt about that.
Right.
In style, for sure. Sam checks in on Facebook. Talk about Lucy's recruitment and what she kind of thought of Carver when she first saw it, and just about the experience last night, and then how loud it was, and boy, you could hardly hear the referee's whistle at times. And
I certainly heard it when they were giving Juju a call. I heard that whistle. I heard that too often.
The play just stopped, right?
Yeah. Seriously, actually with portal recruiting, it's speed dating. It's so different when you recruit a kid from the portal. If they go in relatively late, then it's you don't have any time. They've usually been through it. They know, they've seen this, they knew the dorms, all the things that were of utmost importance the first time round. They just want to make sure that that's same. And then after that, you're kind of talking about basically people are leaving. They want to be part of something that's, successful. I'm going to be able to, go and contribute, all the things. So recruiting is a different term in the sense of, like Caitlin, we recruited her since 8th grade, right? So the recruiting was, we have a spot, we need you. Let me tell you about our crowd. Let me tell you about our success. Let me tell you how great Iowa City is. Are you in? Yep. Okay. Come visit. Boom. And the visit happens within a 7-day period. So it's like, whoa, it goes really, really fast. But we talked a lot on the phone, and you give a lot of information, send a lot of video clips. Then when they got here, then it's just like, it's, if anybody's in business, it's like you got one shot in the boardroom. And you either get the account or you lose it. And so I really felt with her it was crucial to be number one. There were 3 other major schools I knew that were favorite, and everybody was jockeying for position. And I'll never forget her dad. He was like, I think it's just too hard, because we were working around Caitlin being drafted. And he wanted to come on the Saturday night. I'm like, we can't, because this is a draft weekend. We're going to be in New York. Well, can we come? We'll come. I said, no, because we can't get back. He's like, I think it's too hard. We're going to go to, I said, no. We're good. Trust me. We'll be there. You fly in. We'll be in 2 hours later. I got Abby stamped and ended up going to the draft. She needed to stay back with her kids, right? So I've never been so happy. It took me a while, but he did relent, and we were her one and only visit. So that's how important I think it is to sometimes in that speed dating process.
No doubt about that. Mm-hmm. As a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. Great atmosphere here for Hawk Talk, and we'll have more of it from Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency. More Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen from Learfield coming up.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while you're hard at work in class or on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. We're at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. A couple of road games for the Hawkeyes coming up this week. Thursday night at Minnesota, and then next Monday night, the only team that Iowa plays twice in the regular season will be in Lincoln, Nebraska to face the Cornhuskers, and then right back here next Tuesday for Hawk Talk at 6 o'clock. Minnesota, 18-5 on the year, coming off a couple of losses out on the West Coast to USC, 82-69, and then UCLA 79-53, and they'll be back to get ready to go for Thursday night's contest, the only meeting between the two teams. Check the U.S. Bank scoreboard. Just one other game right now in the top 25. It is number 10 Duke 34 and number 14 NC State 24. So the Blue Devils lead by 10 in the ACC. Let's head back to Twitter. Brandon talks about a heck of a weekend. Loved the way you wanted to make sure the officials knew that maybe Juju wasn't quite getting fouled as many times as she drew, but just a heck of a weekend. And they ever listen to you? I mean, they take your comments and maybe say we'll watch that a little bit closer.
Sometimes. Yesterday I was just too animated. I don't know. My son Jack, when I got home, it was probably good. Jack said, he said, you want to see when you got a little too excited about the official? I said, no. He's like, well,
Jack
maybe
doesn't skip a beat, does
no.
he? Huh?
So we watch. Sometimes it's helpful. It's like film. It's like, oh, gosh, I don't want to do that again. So it was good, and I think I do. It's weird. I do believe you catch more flies with honey. I've always believed that, but I blow it often with refs. It's just like
it's easy to do.
Yeah. Well, they don't like being yelled at. I wouldn't like to be yelled at. You can yell, and I apologize a couple times to them. But sometimes, it's like you yell too much, and they're like, yeah, you're not sorry. So I'm a work in progress. And Randy helps me stay calmer. Abby, sometimes it's a committee on the bench, but that's kind of surprised me, actually. I would pull Lisa back in the day. But some of the things when you just go, I'm kind of shocked because I'm usually relatively calm. So
that's what officials do to you sometimes,
they
right?
They do. But actually they do. The good ones will say, I blew that. I did,
right.
And then when they say that, I'm fine. I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, because like I blow things. I should have called this instead of that. And sometimes if they just don't act arrogant to me, I'm better. But when they act arrogant, then I get going, and that's not good. That's not good at all. When they act like they just, so
no tea yet, though.
No tea, but I've been. Jack's told me I should have had 2 or 3. Janie 2. I said that's a little high.
Jack, that's not true. I haven't seen one yet. They got respect for you. They're
right,
not going to call a tea on you.
Yeah.
Audrey checks in on Twitter as well. When you look back to yesterday, and we've talked about the 4 years with Caitlin, and been a lot of great stories. And we've talked about how a lot of people get emotional. One, when they see her, even watching her on TV when she speaks, because she does such a great job at that. So it kind of goes both ways too, with the recipient and also with Caitlin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's just asking, was there any moments or one particular?
Just any type of moments throughout the 4 years?
There's
ton of them, I'm sure.
There's just been so many. I think in her sophomore year when she was at Michigan, we lost it, but she scored I don't know how many points in I
think 20 in the fourth quarter that game. Yeah.
And it was in the last couple of minutes. She was just hitting all the logo stuff, and I think that's when, the Pat was it show? What show was it? That guy?
Pat McAfee.
Yeah. You know,
well, then
all
the
those
interesting thing
people
about that day,
kind of, pay attention. So that was one. You know.
Yeah, I kind of go back because I get asked a lot. When did you really think, boy, this is going to be something? And it was that game because if I remember right, had some illness and injury going into that game, and Michigan was in the top 5 and got down early, 20-plus points, and you figured, okay, after 3 quarters, well, tough road trip, let's get home, let's regroup, but she wasn't having any of that, and then knocked down a couple of 45
And I think that's
footers.
where everybody, and they have a really storied softball coach at Michigan. She's won tons of titles, and we were coming off the court, and she grabbed me and said, can I have my picture with her? Right? I mean, then her name's Coach Hutchinson, and, you know, it just started, that's when it all started. Like, everybody, you could see they wanted a piece of that. And, I'd seen so many great things early, but that was the first public. But, you know, all the shots and, actually, when we were in the bubble in San Antonio for the Sweet 16, when she took us, you know, when we went to the Sweet 16, she played Kentucky, and it was amazing. No one was in the stands, but it was the higher the prize is, like, it brings out the greatness. And that was, I think, cool. All of it was. But I would say her South Carolina performance was one for the ages. All of our team, they were on point. You know, our scout was great. Fitz had that down, you know, to a T. And, yeah, but there's so many. It'd probably take a 3-hour show to really break it down. But I think just who she was, how she did it. And she learned and grew. She was, you know, she'd tell you, too, she was too hot at times and, you know, too intense for the teammates at times. And, you know, when we got her to give a little and the team to understand her a little better, that's when it started to be magical.
Had a question here in-house about, obviously, we've talked about, okay, you've lost a few in a row. How do you stay with it, get that confidence back? It's kind of the opposite now a little bit with the huge win yesterday to kind of settle in because you've got 2 really tough road games here coming up this week.
I think that's the, you know, the beauty of basketball. It mirrors life so much. And that's one thing, you know, a lot of you people were here in the middle of that. I hope we never have to go through that type of streak again. But, I mean, we hope we don't have to go through some tough things in our, you know, regular lives either. I think the key is just trying to stay steady and trying to find the positive always. And, I mean, all of us are going to have your darker moments, and me included, right? And if I'm down, Randy's got me, someone's got me. But collectively, when, you know, you're working with a team, you know, as long as you can see, like, the potential, and I always could see it, is just trying to get them, you know, in the right, orchestrate it, right? And understanding, you know, it's just really, it's a tough league. And it's a tough, Minnesota game is going to be tough, just like Nebraska was tough, just like Northwestern was tough. And, you know, as a coach, you don't quite have the expectations he does because you're watching all this film and you really understand that the margin is so slight. And so when we were going through what we were a couple weeks ago, it's much how I approached it then is how I approached it today. Is the same intensity, the same focus, and the same understanding that, you know, the game against Minnesota may be harder for a different reason than what we did yesterday. Because, you know, now the goals kind of shift on you and the pressures are different. But if you stay steady and stay the course and stay positive, I think that's usually always your best opportunity to continue successful. So really what we're doing now, today, what we did 2 weeks ago, we're just doing it with a little bit lighter of a heart. You know, you're just like, oh, I'm so thankful we got that for them, fans, you know, my staff, right? But if you keep the mission, and sometimes it can get clouded even for me, but the journey and why you coach is to help them grow as people and players, and it mimics life. And if you keep the main thing, then you usually get through it, and you usually, hopefully, put yourself an opportunity to have a moment like we did yesterday.
What a moment it was, no doubt about that, and more coming for sure. We'll take one more break and come back and talk a little bit about Minnesota coming up on Thursday night as we conclude Hawk Talk with head coach Jan Jensen from Learfield.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, with our partner, NG Iowa, is offering full-time positions in utility operations for our campus and hospital water, heating, steam, and distribution systems. Check out the jobs and apply at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/everymoment to find a plan right for you.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
3rd down 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contract, powered by Mediacom.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk, presented by Oak Knoll, as their mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving Iowa City for 58 years. Oak Knoll is conveniently located near the Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick, Carver Hawkeye, and downtown Iowa City, a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. And Hawk Talk here with Jan Jensen. Visit oakknoll.com to learn more. And when it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org. Minnesota on Thursday night from Williams Arena on the campus of the Golden Gophers, 18-5. We talked about their trip out west. This is a balanced team. Seems to do a good job in the rebounding category, and really off to a terrific start. They played very well at home, and maybe one of the surprises right now in the Big Ten, potentially.
They really are on top of us. They're doing well, and they're a surprise, especially because arguably one of the Big Ten's best players, Mara Braun, got hurt very early
after
in the
5
season.
games,
And she's battled some type of foot or bone break. I don't know what it is. Don't quote me. But she's a great kid, great family. We recruited her. So they're having a lot of success despite her absence. And they have another player that's out as well. So Yeah, they're doing a great job. Dawn Bulitzer is their coach, and her staff. So they've been in the top 25, fell out of it, but they're really balanced. They got three people on the definitely double figures. The other ones are 9. So 5 out of 5, you're almost double figures. So they got a post player that is real strong. Actually committed to NC State, transferred back. She's from the Twin Cities. And then, we recruit a lot of the same kids, so we know this roster really, really well. So, it's going to be a good game. We're a lot alike, really a lot alike. And we're going to have to, they can shoot threes really well. And their point guard's got a beautiful pull-up. So we got a game plan. We just started to put it in today, and I think I like what we're seeing. But today everybody was a little, tired.
I'm sure.
So they'll get a little bit, we got a little, jacked them up a little bit, but certainly understood. And the load, a lot of people played a lot of minutes, so we utilized this time to kind of be more cerebral today. But it's, Minnesota, it's the border war, Nebraska, no one likes each other very much. So a lot of respect, but that rivalry is there.
You want to win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key thing.
Absolutely.
Going back to scouting reports, is it tougher when you have a balanced team where everybody's averaging between 12 and 8, or somebody that, like a Juju Watkins, averages 25 and
that's a good
to
question.
try to defend her versus?
It's a really good question. I think yes and no for different reasons. You can really Juju. The thing about Juju, she's really good, but the thing that I keep going back to why Caitlin was fantastic in a category all her own. She led the nation in scoring and assist. Caitlin would pass. If she got your trust and you got, she's going to give it to you. Where, a kid like Juju, she passes, but she's definitely very much looking for the seams. So it's easy in a sense that if you really come through and do your scout, it can help, but they're still so great. The balance scoring, you can't help off as much. You got to be really careful, because if you shade a little bit too much, this kid can hit a 3. So they don't average as many points, but they all can kind of chip away at you. So I think it's, I don't know which one I would really prefer.
All right, Jan, we'll see you in Minneapolis.
Sounds
Appreciate
great.
everybody coming out. Reminder, next Tuesday, we'll be here for Hawk Talk. Fran McCaffrey Show is next.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list: clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new 9s in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides the direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 58 years. Oak Knoll is located near the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We are a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.